Okay, hi guys. We're just giving about 5 minutes to see the attendance to those who have just come in. We just want to see how much attendance we have. So we're just going to wait for the next 2 minutes and then we're going to get started. But it looks like people are coming through. We have good enough numbers for us to actually engage in this amazing topic, which is about funding. A lot of people are struggling with funding, and some people have, view funding in a wrong way. And with us today, we have Audrey, who's going to actually teach us, educate us about how to actually get funding, but more so even how to manage funds, because I think a lot of people don't even know how to manage funds. And then the different types of funding, of course. And what we're looking for, guys, as you come in here, this session in particular is a very closed session where you can ask questions direct, direct to your business. Now, I'll be listening in, and I just wanted to make note to some of the guests as well to say, I've actually funded a company through investment. So I had my seed round, and then I went up and beyond that. I'm now going into Series A of funding. So it has been challenging, but it is beneficial. So if you do have questions, even for me and what I've went through, you can ask, but I believe that Audrey is going to cover the majority of your questions. So please, guys, remember, this session is for you to engage, to ask questions that are not directly impacting you at the moment. And I am sure out of us here, we'll be able to help you, even help you to find those funding sources. As I said, I'm funded internationally. I work with a lot of VC, which is venture capitalist firms here in South Africa as well. So I do know a couple. So if you need some guidance, I can also do that for you. So without any further ado, guys, I think I've bypassed the 5 minute mark of the introduction. So I'm going to hand over to Audrey. Audrey, can you please actually meet the guys and take it on?
Hi everybody. How are you? I hope you are well and excited, and you've got plenty of questions to ask us, because today is going to be one of those days that we try and figure out this funding saga. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just go through just my slides, talking about, just quickly go through the slides so that we can start getting into questions. Maybe some questions will be answered from the slides, but let's just go into I'm going to share my screen, so I hope everybody can see it. Bokang, on your side, if you can't see it, please let me know, because then I won't be away. I'm just going to do that quickly.
Okay. We can see your screen, Audrey. You can go ahead. All right.
Okay. I'm going to do a little slideshow here. We're starting with this one. Okie dokie. Hope all is well. Okay, current page. Okay. I hope you can hear me. Our outcomes today, I'm hoping today when you come out of here, at least you know the questions you need to ask yourself. Because again, funding is about you. You need to know when are you ready for funding. And you need to know how much you want and why you want that. And then you have to have a plan of how you are thinking of getting that amount. Okay. And then we're going to know what information is required by funders. Remember, funders are those people that are going to show interest in your business, and they would want to see something. Nobody's going to give you money just in J, because whatever. They want money. They are going to give you money because they see potential in your business. Okay, and then know the documents that you require, because I find most clients, they scrabble through last minute. Oh, gee, I need money to fund this project, to fund that project, and they don't have the proper documents. I always say, for my clients, I always tell them, prepare yourself. Always be ready for funding. Always be ready to, if a project comes, you know how you're going to be able to get money to run that project. Plan for business funding in advance. I know a lot of people don't believe in planning. I mean, I work mostly Kasi and rural clients, and we don't necessarily like planning that much. And planning is a cliche, I know, where they say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And it's so honest, it's the truth. So plan for your funding in advance. Like already, let's say, for instance, we are going into 2023. You should at least be saying, in the next 6 months, I'm preparing myself for funding, and this is what I'm going to do. These are the types of funding I'm looking at. These are the projects I want to fund, whether be it is I'm actually funding operations, or I'm actually funding, I want to buy a big machine or whatever. Start the planning stage now, okay? Understand the impact of non-compliance to the future of your business. Now, I put this one in as a standard for everything that I discuss. If you have a lot of non-compliance, your taxes are not paid, your CIPC is not, all the other things, that the non-compliance things that you are, the compliance issues that you are supposed to be looking at, if those are not in order, they are going to affect everything in your life. They are going to affect your company in all spheres. Okay, so make sure that your paperwork is in order. Okay, and then the next question is, what questions are you going to ask yourself? What are you going to ask yourself before you apply for funding? When will I need additional funding? That is why I said plan. Give yourself, here I normally say to people, that's why you need a budget. Your business needs a budget. That word, that when I say it, it's like I'm saying bad words to my clients. A budget is that thing that tells you, okay, it's a year budget, 2023. What's going to happen in 2023? In June, we want to buy a machine. How are we going to fund this machine? When are we going to need, then we start looking at options of funding. What type of capital do you need? Do you need working capital just for projects? What do you need money for? Do you want to expand your business? What exactly do you want to do? Why am I asking for the stated amount? And how do I plan to repay? Most people don't necessarily think about, when they think funding, I don't know whether they think they're not going to pay back, but they never think, okay, what interest rates am I looking at? Will I be able to afford this? Budget. Again, we come back to that word, budget. Which type of investment will help me reach my goals? Basically the same thing. How will I spend the capital raised? Plan. How am I going to do this? How much interest am I prepared to pay on the capital required? What is my end game? Basically, what am I trying to reach? What's the end goal? What am I getting a machine? Am I growing my business? How big am I growing it? Is now really the right time to raise funds? All these questions will be answered by when you have a budget, because already you'll know that, I'm trying to get into these type of markets. I always say a budget is a wish list. I want to go into these type of markets, or I want to just hire so many people, or I want to cater for so many customers. You need to start thinking about these things. Okay, information required by funders. I'm just going to quickly go through this. But after this one, I'm going to stop and take questions so that it's not me just reading through slides, because you're going to get these slides and you're going to read through them yourself. And then if you still have questions, I've got my email at the end of the slide where you can start talking and we can engage more. Funders are going to want to know your team, because nobody's going to be funding you without understanding that you have a strong team that's actually going to make sure that they get their return on their investment. If you don't have a strong team, basically, I mean, it's how are you running your business? What's your day to day? Who are the people who are actually carrying your business? The description of your product, your service, what is it that you're selling? Okay. And what also makes this particular, we're going to come to where we say, what makes it so special? What is it that you're doing? Indicate the size of the need you are catering for. How many customers do you have? How big is your market share? Because remember, if people see that there's potential, more funders want to come in. Okay. Basically, I always say you sort of giving them a business plan kind of situation where a business plan tells us what's happening now and what is going to be happening in the future, so that it gives us an idea of what your business is all about. Who are you catering for? What's so amazing about you? Why should we give you money? Have a clear idea of your customers. Who are your customers? Where are they found? Because this one will also help you when you advertise. You know exactly who are you going for. And as a result, you'll know whether you can grow this market or not. Okay. What is the funding for? They would want to know, are you thinking of expansion? Are you buying machinery? What are you doing? Coming to this, I once had a client who came to me and he said he's got a product that he's making. And he says, you know what, Sissy, it's going so well. I'm doing well. I've got one machine. Now I want to buy 10 machines. Okay. I thought, wow, so you are doing very well. So you want to fund 10 machines. And of these 10 machines, currently the one that you have, how well is it performing? He says, no, you know what? It can actually make about 300 products, these particular things that I'm producing. It can make 300 of those. But so far, I've only made 100. I said, oh, okay, 100. And of the 100, how many of the 100 did you sell? He says, about 80. So there's about 20 sitting there. What happens to the 20? Oh, no, the 20 is I use it for marketing purposes. Oh, okay, I see. So now, do you have that big a market already? Do you have orders that you can think of that now you need 10 machines? Don't you think you should be probably going for the second machine, or at least use the first one to full capacity, because you only produced 100 products instead of 300, which is the full capacity of this particular machine? So what is the funding for is so important, because most people don't understand this question. They don't understand that they just want to buy machinery just to have a lot of machinery, but what are you using it for? Then you have a lot of white elephants basically sitting there and they are not being used. Does your business comply with laws and regulation? That compliance issue that I was talking about, non-compliance that will actually stop you from growing anything else. Okay, up to this point, I'm going to actually stop here. And then I want to chat with you and see. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And then I want us to start having a discussion, and where we will talk about, I'm going to actually also take off my camera, but then at least you can hear me. I want to take some, I see Amanda was saying budget is a swear word. It's true. I know. I feel that too, because a lot of people don't want to budget because uh, for them a budget is saying something. It's saying I need to sit down and actually become real with myself. I need to start saying, do I really need this? Am I spending my money at the right place? Especially for a business that is so crucial. Am I a hand to mouth kind of business? Because if I'm a hand to mouth kind of business, who will invest in me? I'm also not making money from my own business. Who would do that? You know? Uh, so are there any?
So,
Okay, Bokang?
yes, I was saying, Audrey, I have a question actually, which I think some of the guys might want to ask those who are startups. To say, as a startup, is there funding for me as a startup? Can I get funding, or is funding reserved for those that have shown track record, those that have sold products, as you say, those that are showing profitability? What if I need funding for to continue research into my product before I can launch it? Is that possible?
Yes, startup funding is possible. It depends. Like, I mean, you've got quite a number of, let's say, Department of Trade and Industry, IDC. If you have a concept, even, I mean, private funders will fund you. If you have a concept that when people look at it, they say, wow, this is an amazing concept. They would look, but of course, you need to compile that document that shows that you must show that you've done your research on that particular concept, and it shows that it is going to actually yield fruit. Anything that will yield fruit and you can sell it very well, people will buy into it. I mean, there's also grant funding for, let's say, the guy who's just a small guy, small young person who just decides, you know what, I want to start my own. Let's say I work with the normal people, small people, and that person says, I just want to start my salon. You know, I just need somebody to help me start a salon. There is startup funding for people who want to do that. But again, you need to also show that you are dedicated, you've got experience in doing that particular thing. So we cannot necessarily give you funding just. You need to convince people that your concept will work. I hope that answers you, Bokang, or do you still need more?
It does kind of answer me, but in a vague way, because you know a lot of people are struggling just to even get their business going. Let me make an example. I need a machine already to start producing the fabric softener that I want to produce in the township so I can sell it for cheap. Now, if I don't have that money, how am I supposed to get it? Is this one of those cases where you go to family for funding as a startup? Because I know that most government departments, they don't give funding out to startup businesses. In most cases, it's businesses that are already trading. They'll give you like 3 years or something like that.
Yeah.
And this deters a lot of people who don't have money, but then their ideas require funding.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. I like working with examples because at least it makes sense. Somebody would relate. I have a young lady who came up with a concept during COVID-19. She was mixing up, a little concoction of, some immune booster of sorts. And she went to a government institution and she said, could you please, I mean, I've got this product that I do in my kitchen and, you mix it up and, it works. It works. It's got this turmeric, honey, all this amazing product. And the lady there said, but this thing, that you are doing, and actually called it the thing. This thing that you're doing is, I mean, I could do it myself. So why would we fund you? You know? And then, I mean, she left very sad and she went home. But you know what she did? I always say, yes, it's not easy. Life is not easy. But what she did after that is what separates entrepreneurs from the rest of the other people. Because an entrepreneur says, okay, fine, I'm going to prepare this concoction of mine and I'm going to give it to Bokang and say, try it out, Bokang. You've got a cough, try it out. And then Bokang tries it out and like, wow, it works well. Gave it to a couple of guys. They had a very nice weekend and they were a bit, fuzzy on Monday. Gave them the thingy and they said, wow, this thing is nice. And said, no, the next time I'm going to sell it to you. So she started selling small, 35 rand, 35 rand, 35 rand. Long story short, she sold it. She went to one of we've got a department of Distia, this side, went funders, went and sold it to one of the employees. And this lady was coughing and then she tried it and said, wow, this is nice. We can help you. So you also have to go the extra mile. You have to also use some of your money. I mean, it was good that I said, okay, fine, who gave you the money? She said, my brother gave me about 5,000 and I got some bottles and then I went to Cedar. She started very small, very small. And I always tell people, remember, a seed, if you see a tree, it started from a seed, and a seed is very small, but you see a tree and you looking at a tree and you say, but I can't plant such a tree because you are impatient. And I understand that we are the generation of people who believe in instant coffee, disposable nappies, and all those things. We don't put that much time into things. But unfortunately, business is still wants you to follow the same concept. Mbanekazi, I hope I'm pronouncing your name. I think he's got a question. Can we probably, I think they raised their hand.
Yes,
yes, I did. Thank you for that response. I actually agree with you. It's Mapanekazi, actually.
Mapanekazi. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bokang, I want to thank you also for that question. I think was attending another interaction, I think early November. Yes, if it wasn't and it wasn't late, if it wasn't late October, it was early November in Johannesburg. Yeah, PB, what is this? Progressive Business Forum and slash CEDA. And there was questions. Sorry, let me switch off the fan. It's going to. And there were questions like the ones that you're asking, Bukan. And like if you're a startup, if I have just registered my business and I've been working, and I think there's a concept that my sister always likes to bring up, the concept of black tax. If you've been trying to help your family out and you're thinking that, look, if I should go into business, I can try and help some more. But when you get there, you have to outsource other things. You have to outsource. Sorry, I'm back at home, and then next thing, somebody's going to come through the door and say, Mommy, I want this. Sorry. Sorry for that. So if you're busy trying to hustle between the 9 to 5 and then trying to also, do the other thing on the side, and then where do we draw the line? I don't know. I've tried. I've gone to when I was young, when I was considered youth. When I was considered youth, I've been to the NYDA. I've been everywhere. You know what I mean? Been everywhere.
Yeah.
And then you start thinking it's not my luck. And then
did you ever get successful?
Until when? 2 years ago, when I met someone who said, okay, I can help you. Just an individual, I can help you. And then we put up business. And then he asked me all of these questions that are being asked in this forum. How are you going to pay me back? How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? Do you understand? What do you want to do? What's the plan? And since then, I've been trying to develop another product. And then I said to him, can we use that money that we made from the other product? Of this product?
Nice one. Nice one. Nice one. I gotta give it to you there.
It's practicality. Because you say, I'm saying, because I have 3 products. There's product number 1, which is the primary, the secondary, and then there's the other, the big one, like the big guy. The big guy who's going to take me out of poverty. And then 75 other people versus the 5 that helped me from the first one. You understand? So that's our how do I say? That's
our problem, our challenge,
it's
our
our
reality.
It's our reality that I don't have a what did they say there at that forum? They said, what do you have to give back? What it's something like a collateral.
Yeah.
Yes.
Something like
something,
a collateral.
just to
If you're fresh from university, where do you get a house to collateral with?
Okay. Can I sort of say something? Okay.
Yes, please.
Normally, this is what you need to prove to anyone, even if it's your sister or anybody, whether anybody who's going to be giving you money. You need to prove that you've actually done the work. You know who's going to like this product. Whether you starting, and I get this because when we also started our business, we had to sit down and say, how many people do we think we are going to see? At what price are we going to charge? But again, more than anything, we needed to say, how many people do we need to see to survive? Because remember, we had to stop working. And when you stop working, you have debt. I mean, loads of debt. So we needed to say, for us to be able to survive 1 month, how much do we need? Because when you're starting, it will be from month to month to month to month. And Amanda, I've seen your hand. There's Amanda as well. We will have to get back to. But basically, month to month to month, we needed to know how much did we have, how many people, and we got to a figure like 9. Basically, we needed to get 9 people who must come for a month and we must charge them a certain amount, so that we can at least survive. We can be able to pay the rent. We can be able to pay for us to get there, and the lights and where we are, and then for food. But we for 6 months, we had to tie the belt. So we needed a budget. We needed to prove that at least if you could give us so much, we can survive just to start. So a lot of people don't do that, but they say, but I don't know. If you don't know, who should know? It is your business. It is your passion. So if it's your business and your passion, you at least need to know who. Like you have to, if you're baking scones, you have to at least have tasted your scones and said, why, they're delicious. Then you gave them to a friend who said they're delicious. He said, the next one I'm charging you. And another thing that I've noticed, there's a part where in my slide where I'm also looking at the most cheapest form of funding that you can get, the easiest form of funding that you can get. And that is deposit. Customer, pay me a deposit of so much and then I will give you the thing. But with that comes, are you a reliable person? Are you a reliable person? I hope we didn't have a glitch there. Can you hear me? You have to be a reliable.
Loud and clear.
You have to be reliable. Like if I use that type of when a customer comes, they say, I want you to do the following for me. I said, okay, I'm going to give you a quote. I need at least 40% deposit or 60% deposit. That is the most cheapest form of funding. But for you to do that, you have to deliver on time. And again, another thing, what funding also tells you is value. You need to value yourself. You need to say, I'm worth this much, and I know I can deliver. I know I can. Remember, you are the first person. If even the funders are going to buy you, they're not going to buy anything. They are buying you. Amanda has had her hand raised. Can we please, Bokan, can we?
Yes, please. I was actually, time is also killing us. So Amanda, please go ahead.
I'll be really quick. Sorry. Afternoon, evening, everyone. I hope everyone is fine. I'm Amanda from OISA. It's a non-profit organization that I'm running. And as I'm hearing you saying, Guti, for startups as well, you need to show sort of like to prove, Guti, you've been doing stuff. I think I'm struggling with showing what I'm doing because yes, I need funding for it, but then it's also things that I can do with resources like people coming and offering their services or just donations that I'm getting from other people. It is taking longer, but with funding, I'll have a bigger impact, obviously. But what I'm also struggling to do is like to say what are funders actually looking for, especially like for a nonprofit organization. If I say I did something, do you want to know every single detail, all the clothes I've donated, how many times I saw the kids, like what sort of traction are you looking for exactly when it comes to nonprofits and showing what they were doing? Does it also, do you want to see an impact already or just to see if somebody has been working within? Because it's with kids, I can't really measure the impact until maybe they leave the home or after the program is ended. So it's not, sometimes the impact doesn't show immediately. So how do I show my traction? I think that's what I'm also struggling with, whether I'm showing impact or just showing what I'm doing.
Okay, can I get in there? Amanda, you know, one thing I've noticed, I'm one person who doesn't like to shine my own light, like, oh, shine. And I realized that in business, unfortunately, that is not a good quality. So now when you go to a place and then you give clothes, there must be a photograph. You need to build a profile of you giving, showing people all the functions that you do. You need to, and you need to say, this is what, keep stock of everything. That is why we say funding, get your books in order. Every little cent that you spend, you need to account for it, especially for NGOs. You need to account for it. You need to show that, yes, this is how much we brought in, and this is how much we gave away. It's very important.
Okay, just to add, before you move forward, there, like to add on to showing every little thing, does that mean also like just random money that comes with it? Doesn't necessarily mean if I spend maybe on transport to go to a meeting for something, is that sort of keeping track that I should be doing? If I get a donation here, 10 Rand, I need to keep every little small thing. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Because remember, your records, every record that you keep, listen, funders need proof that firstly, you have a business. Secondly, it's working. And how much is it making? So if you keep those records are the most important thing that you can do. If you keep any record, whether it's a photo, an invoice, and the idea that a non-profit should not make profit, it's not true. You can make profit as a non-profit. The only thing is how you distribute it. You can't distribute it to yourself. It can go to another, but you can pay yourself salaries, you see. But you can pay people who work with you, can give them salaries and whatnot, but you still can make a profit. And another thing is compliance. I'm coming to compliance as well. If you comply, then it means you can even register yourself as a Section 18A under the tax law. Then it means you are more attractive. Because now if I, an individual, give you something, it means I'm going to get a deduction in my tax, in my income tax. Do you see? I'm reducing, you're helping me reduce my tax. So you need to know everything about your business. You need to know your opportunities. You have to do a SWOT analysis. That is why the business plan is so important. Because when you're doing you say, funding me is beneficial to you. Because you see, you're going to be saving on tax. Because I'm a Section 18A registered. So if I give, like today, if I give your NGO money, I can't claim it in my tax return. But if you are registered and you comply, I will be able to claim that you're a registered public benefit organization. You're doing a good job. Okay. So funders, you need to prove. Look at it this way. I need to prove to somebody who doesn't know me that I'm a good person. And I know most of us are so, what's the word? We humble people. We don't want to show off. The wrong people are showing off. The right people are not showing off. You need to take photos, keep records, prove to funders that, and say, have stories. Bongi, we helped Bongi with this and that and that. And Bongi is doing so well now. Bongi was there. Keep track of how.
Audrey?
Yes.
I'm going to come in a little bit and say, let's move on to the next question. We have so many to cover. We have...
I know it's a passionate one here, this one. Okay, I see.
Okay, Amanda, are you kind of covered?
I'm covered. Thank you so much, Audrey.
Okay, it's a pleasure.
All right. Yes, Audrey, you can continue with the next question.
Okay, I see who's on the next. Terence.
Eldery.
Yeah, it's Eldery. Thank you for inviting me. So Audrey, I just have a question regarding conflict of interest.
Okay.
So I started a non-profit organization, and as you know, it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
Now, what is happening? You bring in the funding, but then you have to outsource some of the services.
Yes.
And then now I wanted to know, for me starting then a company where those services then can be rendered by me to the organization, what's the implications of that?
As you said,
is there a conflict of interest, or yes, I just need a bit of guidance there.
A big one. Because you then doing, it's like you are a related party. You are a director of the NGO. You are the director of the company. Do you see? It's a big conflict of interest. So it's like, you remember, non-profits is you are giving to the public. You are doing something it's a social, it's a public benefit organization. Now, all of a sudden, you are the one who's doing it. You getting money in. It's not on. Funders are going to look at it and say, basically, you might as well run a profit organization. Not give to yourself.
Okay.
You can give yourself a salary from the NGO. You can give yourself a salary, but not your company.
Okay, so you basically you can start the company, but they're not rendering the service to your organization, but to others.
Yes, to others.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. But Audrey, we had another one from Terence who was asking for us to go step by step into the process of actually funding. However, I don't know, because you still had some, a way to go into your presentation. I don't know if you are done or if you're still continuing. So please guide us here.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen again just to go through what's left. But it's not a lot. Okay. Okay. We had done, now we're doing the documents required by funders. Your CIPC, your tax clearance certificate, company proof of residence. your bank statements, annual financial statements, income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement, and cash projection. Basically, it's the information you would find in a basic business plan. Management accounts show us on a monthly basis how's your business doing. Okay, and then the other thing is we need CVs of the directors. Funders are interested in understanding the skills and knowledge of the management team. We need to know that, do you have the right skills to be doing that? Okay, and then again, another thing, very, very important, your credit record as a director. Remember, if your credit record is not in order, nobody is going to touch your company, because you are the ones who will be managing the figures of the company, and you cannot manage your own personal issues. It doesn't sit very well. And I understand this is normally a problem for a lot of people. So whenever we work on your funding, I always say, let's start with this part first, where we are going to prepare and make sure that you clear your credit score and you make sure that you are back in line. For most people, I always say 6 months so that we get you somewhere. I'm going to look at cash flow. Basically, remember, cash flow for me, I always say, it's like the blood in your body. If somebody drains all the blood in your body, it means you die. Your business is the same. If you're not managing your cash correctly, your ins and outs correctly, your business will die. So you need to make sure that's why cash flow or funding for me is something that you need to constantly be thinking about, constantly finding ways of how are you going to fund yourself. Okay, your profit, those managing your profit, managing your debtors, your inventory. When am I buying what? I'm also going to look at working capital. Working capital for me is one of, as I said, easiest funding ways, because working capital, it's your debtors, your supplier, your cash, and your inventory, your stock, basically. In the short term, if you work well with your working capital, it will be a way of funding, because then you say, customers, you could request a deposit from your clients before you do anything. And then you offer early discount settlement for early discounts for people who settle early. 2% if you will reduce you by 2, so that you have money moving into the business. Again, arrange with your suppliers. Guys, can you give me payment terms? Can I pay you in 30 days? Can I pay you in 60 days? For this to happen, you have to build relationships. And how do you build relationships? Is by being a loyal person. If people know that they can trust you, they will give you 30-day payment period. It won't be cash on delivery, because you need that cash for other things. Do you see? So you have to, this is one, relationship building. Build relationship with the guys you are doing the most business with. Only keep inventory stock that can be sold quickly. So again, when I look at funding, every time I say, you know what, for you to understand your funding, you need to understand your records. You need to know, see, track what things are happening in your business. Most owners are too busy with other things and they leave the figures for the last moment. But those are the most important things, because they will tell you whether you're doing well or not. I also want you to look at interest rate. Let's say prime rate today, 9.75% per annum. Credit card, most of them are free for the first 55 days. And after that, they charge you up to 20% and whatnot. Very expensive funding. Micro lenders. Why I put the micro lenders is because I found a lot of businesses in the township, they make use of macro lenders. And then they don't even think about the project that they just took. All they need is, I need 10,000 rands. Hey man, quickly, my brother, 10,000. And he says, you know what? I charge 30%, and it's 30% flat, 30%, as long as you will pay me 3,000 interest. Ooh, that's so much. Interest in a business is allowed as a deduction. Now, if you go into an informal money lender who doesn't give you an invoice and nothing, you can't claim this 3,000 that you, so this 3,000 that you've paid. So it doesn't even help you reduce your issues. It doesn't reduce your, you're not even tracking your cost of sales. You can't even track whether you are making a profit or not. And this is where a lot of people make losses here. Because, and these guys are the ones that normally don't even care whether you've got collateral or your business is happening or whatever. No, as long as they know where you stay, that's all that matters. But they will charge you 3,000 for a 10,000, which even if you went to the bank, even if the bank charged you 30%, even if they did that and they won't, even if they charge you 30%, it will be divided by 12. So you won't be paying 3,000 every time the debt is outstanding. Okay, basically that was the slide. After that is these are my details. If you want to talk some more, and we can get more time, and yeah, basically that's that. Okay, is there any questions? Terence, is Terence still with us? Terence?
All right. I think while Terence is gathering himself, Terence will come back to you. I just also wanted to touch on something that is critical, guys. Just yesterday, I was with the CEO of GEP, that's Mr. Saki. So he was actually explaining how GEP, so those who are in Gauteng, and they're operating in Gauteng, if you have a purchase order, all right, if you have a purchase order from one of the departments, one of the government departments, it doesn't matter where it is, actually, anywhere in South Africa, if you have a purchase order, you can actually go to the GEP and they can give you that funds. So that's part of funding. They can give you the funds that you need to actually carry out the project, and also without looking too deep into your credit records and stuff like that.
Like it.
All right. So I thought this is important information to share, to say, you know something, guys, when you have a government tender, don't first and foremost think about going to your mashonisa, because that's what actually came when Audrey was talking about these guys at 30%. Now, government already gives you that facility of actually, having the opportunity to go and borrow. And for them to vet the order, they just need to call that department's CFO and vet it. And that's it. Literally, you get your money within 2 weeks and you are then able to fulfill your project. I just wanted to cover that one and let you know that, please, you are not alone sometimes. I know even government themselves, they pay late and stuff like that. And most of us, we depend on governments. They're the ones that provide a lot of us with businesses, with business. So anyway, if there's any question, Terence, we can go back and actually discuss if you have any challenge, or anybody else. If you can't talk, you can also just type on the chat. We'll read the chats and actually come back. He says, Terence said, yes, I'm still here. And Terence, please, do you want to ask your question in that directly? You can unmute and actually talk.
Okay.
So can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes, we can.
Because I'm a bit of like outside. So my question was like how to go about like applying for funding to purchase like a franchise. So if maybe like you're interested in venturing into franchising, so like how do you go about?
Okay, and Audrey, you can also come in here, but I know in particular with franchising, the DTI is one of those departments that actually funds franchises. It's not a lot of companies out there that will actually fund a franchise. I haven't yet even met a lot of VC, which are venture capitalist firms that will actually invest in a franchise, because a franchise has a ceiling. All right.
Yeah.
So it's not that kind of business where it can 100x in, something, like in at a go, or maybe through an innovation. So a venture capitalist firm will always look for something that can potentially 100x, if it catches on. So I'm making an example of, maybe you have a hat that you give to kids, but it has a potential to be used across the whole of Africa because of the sun, and your campaign is of that. Of course, you're going to get a great funders, for that, because you're showing your capacity to actually grow and to expand the product. So yeah, keep in mind of that. I don't know if you want to come in, Audrey, into that one.
Yeah, I'm also, Terence, again, for any funding, whether be it you want to go into any kind of business, you need to show your research. Which area are you going into? Have you looked at it? What type of franchise you're going for? Is it something that, and with franchising, you remember that they also have their, if there can't be too many in one area, so you need to also, I know some people will say, oh, okay, fine, I'm going for chicken, whatever. And everybody, because we people like this, but you need to consider that in your area or wherever, that location that you've selected to do that is there, that particular franchisee will allow you to do. So you still have to do your homework, but the paperwork is standard. Paperwork is standard. It's like with a little bit of changes there and there. And I see again, I think me and
No, and Audrey, can you please just share your contact details again? Yes, because I can't see your slide. You took it down. So let's see who was actually asking for your contact details.
Yeah, because then we can really talk some more and actually deal with. Yeah, can you see it?
Yes, so that's the email, yes, that I'm looking for. And guys, please feel free. Audrey has actually said to me that she will give people advice if you need any. If you need somebody to hold your hand when applying for funding as well, please contact Audrey. So she's just right there. This is her second session with us. She's helped people as well, so please feel free. Yes, you can continue, Audrey.
Okay, and another thing on the funding. Remember, funding is, we need to look at, it's not a one size fits all. We need to understand what are your circumstances and see how we work around them. And then as Bokang has said, if we have to go to GEP, we know what is it that we prepare ourselves for GEP. If we go into the bank, we prepare ourselves for the bank, because you have to understand what the funder, what do they want? So remember, some funders are going to say, if you are creating employment, we are going to fund you. So then we see, are you a potential person who can create employment, and what type of employment? We can prepare you. That's why I always say, prepare yourself for funding and your funders. Give them something that they will look at and say, wow, this is interesting. We will fund this. You basically, funding is you making yourself attractive enough for people to come and give you money. Okay, I think we've got another one. Another question.
You put it very easily, Audrey, but yes, let's go to the next question. You put it so simple. And guys, please, I'm saying, Audrey puts it very nicely because she's done it a lot of times. So please go to her. She'll help you out with
You
your
know?
problem. That's why we have these sessions, so that you can get the best help. That's why we have communication sessions. That's why we have marketing and communication. That's why we have funding. That's why we have all these other different and exciting topics, so that you can actually contact these people. They must not be far off, and you must not feel alone, please. So yeah, for her it's easy, but I know for me it's very difficult to get my books in order. It's very difficult for me to put up a proposal that can actually sell me, sell my business. I know how to sell my business, but not financially to a financial person sometimes, because these finance people, and I like to say to, I think, the first lady who was speaking, I also got funded by a private person first, because I couldn't gather the documents, the correct documents, to actually go and get funded by an institution. And also when it comes to funding, you have grants as well. Now, grants are also very important. They're a source of funding, but in grants, you don't have to pay back. And this is where you need somebody to sell you and your business, to say, listen, let's put up a presentation, let's put up a pack, let's put up these financials as well. Let's show the capacity of your business. And also let's show that, as she said, you are a trustable person that will deliver, number one, deliver, and that will repay the money if you are borrowing money as well. All right. So that's very important. So let me not take up this time as well, and move on to the other guys. I'm sorry, who's next? I think Lerato, I see her hand here. Let me just give her the chance. Lerato, please go ahead.
Okay, hi everyone. I don't have a question. It's more of a comment. I tried sharing Audrey's slide here, but I can't. So everybody who wants the slide deck, please drop your email address in the chat so I can email you the slide right now. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, next person. Thank you, Lerato. Thank you. Bokan, can we take the next, or should I come up with a comment on the difficulty you were telling me about?
So, sorry, you were saying what? I was trying to read Amanda's comment here as well. Saying, yes, Bokan, I know how to tell you about my organization and our impact, but I don't know how to communicate the financials. Oh, yes, Amanda, I know what you mean.
Let me tell you, to make you feel better, I will tell you this. I don't know how to present my company and present it, whatever, but I know how to present the figures. Okay, so we all have shortcomings. That is why I always tell, that is why you have a left and a right hand, so that they can hold each other. So I always say to people, I want people like Bogang to show me how to do the magic, get into places, talk to GEP and whatever. But I can tell you about figures. And that part for me that is why I say, if we talk to each other, I will know where to help you. Whether we're looking at fixing your debt. For me, finance numbers make sense. Words don't make sense for me, but numbers make sense. And it's normal for all of us. But let's do this together, and because then we will show each other that no, we need this and that, all the documents. That is why I've got my details, so that all of you can send me, and we should start chatting and seeing what do you need, because it's easier that way. I could say, okay, you need this and that, and it looks like this. Because remember, sometimes I struggle with certain things. I want people to show me, hold my hand, help me cross the street. You see, sometimes we need that. That is why normally accountants, that's what they do. They will get you money. If I always tell people, if you have a skill, you can do plumbing, you are the best plumber on earth. Then if you pair with me, then I will make sure that we make money. Do you see how it works? That's why I always tell people, that's why you need an accountant in your life. whether be it a friend or whatever, because then we're looking at tax and whatever. We look at a holistic way, the risk and what things that you never considered before. But those type of discussions are easy when it's on a one-on-one, because I know I can't write to save my own life. But when it comes to numbers, how to put numbers, I talk to numbers. I always say to people, a lot of clients come and they say, oh, I am having such a bad time. My business is doing badly. I'm not making, I can't even survive. Then they bring their bank statements and I say, exactly, this is where you're losing money. This is where you're losing money. Sometimes you lose money because you have a concept, you're not charging your clients correctly. You are not actually costing yourself correctly. You're not doing this. So these are the things we fix. We fix you up. That is why I say 6 months to fix you for funding. After that, you can get any funding you want, whether you want from the bank, whether you want it from, but I would have taught you how to do your projects, project by project. And I always tell people, especially the guys that work with government, they always have a problem where they are funding one project with another money, with another project from another money. Like they cross Peter's money is paying for John. That is not a way to do it. Each and every project must contain itself. You know, this project must run itself and must make its own profit. You know, and I see Bokang's eyes are like, is it possible? Yes. Yes, Bokang, it's possible. Remember, what I want to teach you is how to build wealth. More than anything, to turn your business into an investment. That is the final thing. The reason why we are doing all this is so that we can grow our wealth. So now, if you are so stuck on, I'm trying to survive on survival mode, I think somewhere, I always tell people when I do my presentation, I say, I think we need to breathe and stop surviving. Start. You say you came here to fly. And let's teach you how. For me, let me show you how with your numbers. Let's assess them. Let's look at them. Because when you look at the numbers, they start telling me stories. They start telling me that you live next door to an ATM machine, where now you are giving away money to everybody. You are the local charity organization to your entire family, because you are sending them cash send. Anybody wants money, they come to you. You are such a kind soul, you know, and your business is suffering because you are so kind. You see, because that's the reality. And that is what I want to show you. Let's show you where the funding is. Where can you get the funding? Let's get, you know, because I don't want these to be just sessions where we talk and then we can help each other. Because
100%, Audrey. 100%.
Because especially with funding, I'm very passionate about funding, because we need to sit down and look at the money that is being wasted. And some of it we could have used it, some of it we could have invested. And another thing I teach clients, I say, what do you do when you have a lot of money? You put it in a safe place, and then you go to the bank and you say, do you see that money in the safe place? All right, it's going to stay there. Can I use your money to run my projects? Then you say you have your money and you have the bank's money. So I always say the concept is called having your cake and eating it. We can teach you those things. You can teach those things. That is how the rich become rich. Mindset change.
Thank you for that, Audrey. Let's not. and I have to come in there for 2 seconds, because Caesar has had his hand up for such a long time, and I felt bad for him. But you are preaching the gospel, honestly. As a business person, you know, who's been in the game for a very long time, what you are telling is the honest truth. Caesar, please go ahead if you're ready, while we still, because we went above board now. We are after 7 o'clock. I was hoping by 7 we are done, but yes, please go ahead, Caesar.
Yellow, hi.
Hi,
Hello.
Caesar.
Hi, guys. I hope I'm not gonna take too long. Nice session. Okay, firstly, what I have is a question, just one question firstly, then we move to my comment on this session. Is this part of the process with the NYDA funding that they said that we need to attend a course in terms of business management? Is this set up type of form of those classes that we're supposed to send, or I mean supposed to attend?
To start off, Caesar, me personally, I have worked with the NYDA and I didn't know about this previously, but it has been a long time ago. If they are asking that you should have attended one, I'll check up on that me personally, but I'm not sure. I don't know about you, Audrey, if you know about the fact that you have to have attended a business course before they can fund you, which I don't think is a bad idea, by the way, guys. I think it'll do a lot of businesses a great deal of advantage.
Can I go in
but
there?
yes,
Can I go in
please.
there? Because with that youth development fund, what they realized, they gave a lot of money to people and people didn't do much with the money. They bought to their own thing. They went and had a party. So now what they do is they require you to actually sit down for some time, let them teach you costing and teach you how to your customer. They teach you the whole thing. When you come out of there, you are so educated. You know so much about running a business. So because then they can trust you. If you have that certificate, they sort of like, they can look at your business plan, they can look at your other things, because they already think, we've given this person the tools. Basically, in a way, they give you tools. So normally
Okay.
that's how it works. Yeah.
Okay, ke a leboga then. Into making this comment on how to get a business funding. Okay, there's a business that I once did back in 2015, right? We were buying recon batteries. In fact, we were buying old sold batteries. Then we take them into a process of reconditioning them. Then we take it back to the market. Ne? So what happened is Kokasi, Bahlaba Koloi, and then it all collapsed at the business. So
Yeah.
now I want to venture to that business again. I've written all proposal that I could write, but I've been shying away to ask people money because I've never started a business asking people cash. So I thought much of losing my company, losing the visionary to somebody else. So now I'm only getting to the process of asking for cash for me to make a lot of cash. And so I've been here for the last hour and really asked Audrey, if we want to make money, we should scheme you. So I can say I want to go back to the market again now that I've now grown it to be a skill development process. So Khale, what we do is we take those batteries, we do it ourselves, and then we take it to the market. Now I want to induce mechanical engineering as well as product engineering into this course. Then apply for accreditation with CETA.
Okay. So that's what you want
Yes.
to do.
Yes, I'm looking for that funding, but it's not so much of money that I need. So that's why I was shying away to ask for funding. I was hoping for any programs that have grant programs or loans or something like that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think grants are also funding in a way. So for us, it's like looking at, I always say, let's see what we can use. What age can we go to, because everybody wants to help. If you have a concept and the concept can work, you can prove it can work. Again, as Bogang said, obviously you'll have to write up a whole nice document showing them how this will work, and then we will have to do the projections of the funds and show them that it is a profitable thing, because that's the thing. You have to, this is what I'm saying, give somebody evidence that this thing will work. Let's say before it worked, so you have figures. You have figures that how did it work, so you have a story. You see, you have prior information about this. Use that how did it work. So what you said is what stopped it is because the car got destroyed.
Yeah, they hijacked me. They literally hijacked me. After it's been like a week, I bought a car. then
Yeah.
by hijack. But I
Okay.
don't have any records to show of if that business made money. I do have a content of how to make it.
Yeah. So then use the knowledge. Look at this. You know what you know now. You know how it failed. You have actually gathered a lot of experience. You gathered the fact that I didn't insure my thing and that caused my business to go down. So next time
Yeah.
I'm gonna insure this business. You have done it. It failed. But I always tell guys who've went there and came back. I say now you know the route to going back. So where now you are going to do the same. Like let's talk about it. Or how are you going to maneuver into it? You know the capital, the whatever. What is it that you need to start building? Do that budget. Let's do the budget and say this is how it's gonna work, and explain it to somebody so that, and then we can talk to Bokang and about all the funders that he's telling us about, and let us make you look good so that you can be helped. Do you see what I'm saying? But on your side, you have to take that knowledge. It shouldn't be. I always say experience is the best teacher. Now you know what doesn't work. You know the next time you insure everything because there's a risk to your business. So even if when you're doing your business plan, you will tell us about these risks, that there are these following risks that I need to mitigate for. So I'm going to need funding for insurance, for this, for that. I didn't even keep any books. So I'm going to need an accountant to keep my books. I'm going to need an accounting system. So now you know what you need to proceed to take that idea and make it work.
Hey, Mara, I was wondering, I was copying or to mailing and a sliding and a bone or because I always do these proposals, ne? And then there's a part where I always missed. I think it's because of maybe I'm a public servant. When it comes to finances, I limit my finances to up to nothing. You understand? Because I'm usually scared of scaring away somebody that's supposed to give me money. So now I've ventured to ask for partnership rather than funding. Is that a wiser thing?
Partnership or funding? What's
all right. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but if you can hear me very well, then that's great, because my connection just got disturbed. But with this regard, partnership or funding, I'd always go for partnership. Now, the reason why is because you don't have to lose anything in terms of partnership. And also at the same time, you're gaining knowledge. You're partnering with somebody that's within the industry that's already doing it. Now, funding has its challenge because you're just getting the money, but not the experience.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So the partnership is less risky. And at the beginning, what people don't like about a partnership is that you're sharing your money. It's not a problem, but you're also sharing knowledge. You're also sharing, do you understand? Knowledge and experience is very important because once you have that, then you can even go out by yourself. So yeah, that's my take on that.
Thank you. Bokang, do we still have any questions?
No, I don't think we have any questions at the moment, but I do encourage guys to get in touch with Audrey, and even if it's a simple question. Audrey, also from your side, I mean, Caesar was saying something like, share slide, share something to show us what this thing is like. So unfortunately, right now our session is over, but I want us at one point, maybe if it's the next session, yes, where you show us what a good financial, representation is when you actually have cooked all your books. I don't know if cooking is the right word because I think it's a negative connotation. But if you have prepared your books correctly, show us what prepared books look like, that will then go to the investor or the funder. Yeah.
Okay, I'll definitely do something like that where I do a financial statement of a dummy one. It show you. But the most important thing I'll tell you, your balance sheet. Like people don't understand, like your assets. When you have assets, you are already saying to somebody, I've got assets you can take if ever I don't pay you.
What are assets? Sorry, and I know this because Amanda, we do see you. I'm gonna come back to you again, Amanda. What are assets? Because one time I was with somebody and they said you gotta have assets.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any property. My car is still in, financed by the bank. And they said you gotta have assets. Please tell me what's assets? It's assets, cars, and properties. That assets only.
Okay, you know what? As I always say, I'll tell you the definition the accountants use. It's anything that you use to generate income. That thing that you can generate income with. It cannot be a person. It has to be something that you own. You control it. Okay? So if you have an office, it's got cabins, it's got whatever, you've got chairs, you've got an office equipment, your computer, you've got a laptop or an iPad, or those type of things. Those are your assets. Your website is an asset. Anything that can generate income for you is an asset. Remember, right now we have situations where people are selling things, like a list of your customer. That's why now we have Poppy Act that you can't allow, because people used to say, I've got a list of people I know, and these people I can actually sell them to you. People were selling those type of things. They were selling a list of people, because from my list of people you can advertise and then you can get money from them. They used to sell anything that can generate more income for your business.
So Audrey, in essence, so what you're saying is, if I have a list of customers, though I didn't buy it, I generated it myself because they were interested. That is a form of an asset, even though within the business. Is that what you're saying? Because I can reach out to the people and I can generate money from this particular list of people that I have. Maybe I have 100,000 or 10,000 people that attended my event and they registered and they're interested in my product. That I can actually kind of call an asset. Is that it?
In a way, you can, but that one is you can, but you can't. But think about it this way: if you can advertise to those people, and they, that if I advertise to all of them, chances are 20% will come back and buy. Before we used to call it a internally generated asset. But that one is a bit of a problem, because now you've got the Poppy Act. People must say, they must indicate whether you can advertise things to them. You can give their, you can't just give. Now there's laws in place. So you can't really work with that. But I mean, in another way, but look at it this way. I always say to my clients, if your business is an investment, don't just use all the money to buy things like cars that you don't need. Also, buy shares in other bigger businesses. Buy from your business. Buy property. Buy property. It doesn't mean the fact that you are a sales, you are in consulting, you can't own a property. Own property through your company. Build your company such that it has so much assets that it can. All you have to do is show people show them your balance sheet. They will give you money, and you'll use their money to make more money. That is the idea. That is the idea of business funding. Make yourself so strong that you can use other people's money. That's how you build wealth. You use other people's money to make money. But the problem is, I've seen companies that have been in existence for 14 years, but they have no asset whatsoever, not even chairs.
And Audrey, please let me come in there. Ronaldo just scored, so it's time to actually close the meeting. Ronaldo just scored, but Amanda has a question. Amanda, please go ahead.
Amanda.
Hi. It's not much of a question. It's just I wanted to follow up just in case I don't get an opportunity. Bokang, the email that I got for this session, I think I got by accident or something because it fell in my spam. And I heard that you guys have other sessions as well. How do I don't know if I'm on your mailing list or what, how to make sure that it doesn't fall into my spam.
All right. I think I don't know because we first started this, these spam things, because we didn't steal your email. We are actually working with CEDA at the beginning, and I think you most probably in that list because we were helping out there, so we kept on communicating. So we are also trying to fix that. But from your side, please just email info@digitizesa and just say keep on sending or something like that. They're going to make sure that you never miss anything because we're quite a tight family, a very unique and small family where if you need help, please.
Okay, can you please type for me in the chat and then I'll pick it up from there.
That'll be perfect, actually. Just write your email there and it's going to be actually entered into a special category. I know that for sure.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. And guys, on that note, I do want to close this session off. We've we've passed our time by 25 minutes, and I do apologize for those that had prior appointments and sticked around. Thank you very much. But also, I hope that you gained a lot of knowledge from this session. These sessions are purely to inform you, are purely to educate, and also to let you know that as an entrepreneur, you're not alone. It's very difficult out there. I know that because I struggled so much myself to a point whereby this I felt, with a team, it's necessary not to make money, but to help each other. All right, we're not gaining anything out of this, by the way, if you ever wondered. So please just know that we are actually here to help. All right, so go ahead and talk to us whenever you need to. We'll have even more sessions. If you are struggling with any form of business challenge that you feel that you want us to cover, please also let us know. We can get an expert here as well. And by the way, when I did have my conversation yesterday with Saiki from DEP, he said he himself is also going to come back onto the show and actually have a chat with us and let us know how we can actually access the funds. I had a chat as well with the GTA, Gauteng Growth, Gauteng Tourism Authority. They said they can also help us as well into that. So there's lots of government departments as well that are coming up and saying, guys, we can help because we're not requiring anything from them. And all we're doing is sharing information and giving it to you and vice versa. You share your information, we give it to them, and hopefully everybody gets covered. So Audrey, thank you for this session. It was very informative. We appreciate the time that you've taken out of your schedule just to share that knowledge with us. Please do help those that are in need of your services. We'd greatly appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. And yes, everything is not about money. So yes, there's those that if you can take them to greater heights, please do. We'd greatly appreciate that. And guys, let's have a great evening, or rather night. And yes, I will love and leave you right there. Thank you very much.
Thank
Audrey?
you. Bye. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.